I am here in Colorado and we are in the middle of a quarantine for the COVID-19 virus. And so everyone is required to stay home except for essential activities. And so this Saturday, I decided to use that enforced downtime to tackle a project I've been wanting to do for a while now. This is my dad's old Remington 870 Wingmaster 12 gauge shotgun. And I have very fond memories of this gun from being a kid. It's one of the very first guns I ever shot, along with my dad's help, of course, as a very young boy. I just remember it knocked the crap out of me, and I have a lot of sentimentality for it. So I'm looking forward to it. It has definitely seen better days. There's some rust, some pitting from many years in humid environments, but I am hoping to take this down. I'm going to sand it down to bare metal, get it all nice and smoothed out perfect, and I'm going to reblue it. This will be my first time trying to do a rebluing by myself, but confident I can get this up to a good spot where I can honor the legacy of this firearm and also reuse it out in the field and take my son hunting with it. So follow me along as I try my very first job here and hopefully come out with something just a little bit better. All right. Okay, here we can see there is some work to do on the stock, but not much. The stock is in pretty good shape. What I'm going to focus my time and energy on is the main metal pieces here that I can sand down and reblue. You can see some of the pitting that's in there, right? And it goes all the way up into the barrel. So looking forward to getting this gun into much better shape. Going to go ahead and disassemble first and then sand it down and reblue. All right, I now have the 870 broken down. Pulled apart the butt, stock, receiver. I have not disassembled the trigger assembly. I'm gonna leave that intact for the time being while I work on the larger pieces. But you can see all of the major components laid out and ready to work on. A lot of sanding and steel wool later. Got the upper receiver in pretty good shape here. Still need to do a little bit of buffing to make sure some of those lines get out. But overall, if you compare it to where it started, like the barrel, I'm feeling pretty good about that overall. Here they are, post-bluing process. Took a lot of work to get them cleaned up down to the metal. And I wasn't entirely sure what to expect out of the actual bluing itself, but I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm gonna give them some oil and let it cure overnight. This is day 2. I finished my bluing and let it set overnight with a little coat of oil on it. As per the instructions on my just regular old bluing kit. Again, it's the first time I've done this, and I am pretty darn happy with the results. It's far from museum quality, but for my first time ever, I'm going to call that pretty darn good. And I'm pretty happy with the fact that all the rust is gone, got the pitting out, and it is now looking good and going to be protected, and I can take this gun and use it in the field. Okay. Some TLC with the cleaner, and then some good old-fashioned furniture oil along with the electric buffer has done this a world of good, and it is looking pretty good. There's still some of the buildup over the years in the checking that I just had a hard time getting to, but overall I'm pretty happy with the way that turned out. Now I'm going to move on and I'm going to clean up and treat some of the other parts, such as the butt plate and the grip guard and some of the other pieces here that go with like the magazine cap. Get those nice and cleaned up and put some plastic protector on all of those plastic parts so they will stay in good shape too. All right, doing a little bit of Dremel polishing on some of the internals with just some good old-fashioned Rem oil and a nice
finishing buffer bit. You can see here, got all that rust off with a little bit of oil lubricant. Gonna do the same on the other side and the rest of the pieces as well. I have my finished blued pieces. I've got my stock all nice and cleaned up. And as long as I had it disassembled, I took apart everything except for the Traeger complex. I didn't fully disassemble that because it just seemed like trouble waiting to happen. But I did clean it very well. I did actually take apart the entire bolt carriage. What you have to do is actually remove the firing pin retainer pin. So I did that and was able to get that out. And with some polishing with the Dremel, that actually came together really nice, and I'm confident that won't jam up with any excess carbon that's been in there. So one side effect of all the polishing is all this lint, basically, that I'm going to have to be very careful with to not get inside any of the moving parts when I reassemble the gun.
I have finished my takedown and rebuild of this Remington 870. My dad's old Remington 870 is the Wingmaster 12 gauge. I'm pretty happy overall. So I took out a lot of the rust. I did the rebluing. Some of the spots on my blue job were not quite as even as I would like, but I can always try my hand at it another time. And it looks a million times better and is now nice and protected from the elements. So I redid all of that, polished up the stock. It's actually looking pretty good, even without doing a full strip down and rebuild on that. And most importantly, I had the full takedown, so I took apart all of the internal parts and really gave them a good polishing, including some of them with the Dremel polishing bits, so that I could get all of the decades worth of scoring off that. And it's now nice and shiny inside. Everything's nice and smooth, and it should be smooth operating. I'm looking forward to when we are off this quarantine from the COVID virus, so that I can take it out to the range, make sure everything is working well before I take it out into the field, hopefully this fall for some duck hunting.